well that ends well.
We did it, darling!
Victory is ours.
Victory! We did it, darling! Yeah! Ha ha!
is well that ends well.
Fabulous, darling! Score one for the good guys! Score one for the good guy!
Victory is ours. All is well that ends well. Victory is ours. strength grows ever greater.
victory!
Our triumph was never in doubt.
We did it, darling! Victory!
All is well that ends well.
Score one for the good guys!
Victory is ours. All is well that ends well.
Temple on top of a mountain. What connection could a place like this? It certainly benefits from divine protection of some kind.
I know that face. That man is a knight of Heliodor. Heliodorian swine! You think that your blockade will break?
What in the... These...
Enough! Is this how we treat visitors? As your High Lama, I order you to stand down.
Your Holiness, these people are not visitors. They are soldiers of Heliodor. We cannot be sure of their intentions.
Soldiers of Heliodor, you say? The tall one, perhaps. But his young friend does not look like a military man to me. I sense a great power within you. Tell me, young man, are you the luminary?
Incredible. He divined your true identity with a single glance.
How long we have waited for this day. Please, you must forgive my disciples' discourtesy. Welcome to Angri-La, honored luminary. It would please me if you would join me in the High Hall.
Strange child, but remarkably perceptive for one so young. There is... Well, we have come this far. We might as well make our way to this High Hall of theirs. See what he has to say.
welcome you once again to Angri-La, honored luminary. As I believe you know, it is my privilege to serve as High Lama of this most sacred temple.
I am to address you as Your Holiness, correct? Might I ask what you and your people know of my companion?
Why, everything, of course. We have awaited his coming ever since the day he entered this world in the castle of Dundrasil.
Waiting for him? What do you mean?
I mean exactly what I say, nothing more. Tell me, do you recognize the symbol on this banner? It is the emblem of Dundrasil. Since the age of heroes, the princes of that nation have come here to train with us for 6 years of their youth. Your young friend was born a prince of Dundrasil. Thus did we expect him to come here as a boy and study under the great Grand Master Pang. Sadly, that was not to be.
So if fate had been kinder, you would have spent a good part of your childhood here. What of his tutor, this Grand Master Pang you speak of?
When the Lord of Shadows brought the world tree low, the Master set out to summon a magical mandala to protect the temple from destruction. The spell succeeded, but its power was too great. Grand Master Pang did not.
A noble sacrifice indeed.
Now that the Master is gone, it falls to me to guide you. Come to the field of discipline. It lies behind this hall.
It is a shame that the Grand Master cannot be here. I would have liked to meet one so noble. Come, let us see what His Holiness has in store.
Beyond those doors lies the field of discipline, where students of Angri-La strive for enlightenment. Before we tread upon this hallowed ground, let me tell you a little of our history, and of the luminary of legend himself, Erdwin. Before setting out to defeat the Dark One, Erdwin came to our temple to learn from the Wise Ones, who made their homes here even then. The first Grand Master, Ai, accepted him as a disciple and trained him in the secrets of spiritual realization. But he did not train alone. During his time here, he met someone who would change his fate forever.
Who was this person?
Another of Ai Yi's disciples, a young mage whose talent outshone that of all who had come before. A man named Morkant. Erdwin and Morkant would train together every day, each striving to outstrip the other. Though they were fierce rivals, they became firm friends. When their training was complete, Morkant joined with Erdwin in his quest to slay the Dark One. Without Morkant's magic, he might never have prevailed. Before setting out, they carved an inscription into the stone, a pledge of eternal friendship. It has been a treasure of ours ever since.
Morkant. I have not heard the name before.
Now allow me to show you to the field of discipline, if you would be so good as to follow me. Welcome to the field of discipline. Since the age of heroes, if your karma had been different, this is where you would have trained underground. I have brought you here so that you might stand in the footsteps of your ancestors. Even your grandfather, Lord Robert, completed his training here. The memory of his...
His achievements?
Pang was a harsh master. With this implement, disciples whose efforts were lacking were given motivation directly to their fundament. During the course of his 6 years of tuition, your grandfather's right honourable posterior was paddled an unprecedented 10,000 times. The tale of Lord Robert's road to enlightenment lives on to this day. Every disciple knows that he must focus at all times, lest he face the same fate.
A legendary achievement indeed.
You are worried for your grandfather, yes? Do not be. Lord Robert overcame every challenge set for him by the Grand Master. The fall of the World Tree would not have been enough to extinguish one so resilient. He is alive. I sense it. Tonight there will be a modest feast in the High Hall to celebrate your long-awaited arrival. We may not be able to aid you as we would have done were Master Pang...
Awake at last, hmm? It is high time. If the Grand Master was still alive, perhaps we might have learned something to help us in our fighting.
And the hermit? What new...
Forgive us, Your Holiness. The monsters on the mount?
I see.
Your Holiness, is there a problem?
Yes, Sir Hendrik. I fear there is. You see, 2 weeks ago a hermit visited us, unannounced. Then
Hello? Whatever for?
That I do not know. The moment he heard that Master Pang had passed away, he ran from the tent. The mountain has become infested with monsters. This being so, I dispatched a group of
I have trained all my life for a moment such as this, and yet I have...
Might we be able to offer some assistance?
I thank you for your kindness, but you are guests.
A Knight of Heliodor does not abandon an innocent in need. These people have shown us great kindness. It is only...
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. We must depart for the summit of Mount Pan...
Victory! We did it, darlings! Victory!
It seems we are too late.
Unfortunately so. He was in deep meditation when he breathed his last. I am glad at least that he was prepared to meet his fate. But that posture, it is awful. Uniquely awful. I know it from somewhere.
Incredible! Issue 1 of the Ogler's Digest. And in mint condition.
Indeed. It seems our friend here made his peace with the world before departing. But this is one of the royal treasures of Dundrasil. Why would a lowly hermit...
By the skies!
Lord Robert!
Your grandfather was Master Pang's most fervent disciple. Can he have chosen to follow his mentor to the next life, perhaps?
No, he is still breathing.
What?
His spirit hovers in the place between life and death. But there may yet be a way to save him. If you were to follow him into the vault...
But how? Is this even possible?
The ancient teachings tell us that the summit of Mount Panglai stands at the... If you will permit me, I can perform an ancient rite that will... But it is not a decision to be taken light... Well, will you take that chance? Will you visit the vault? Very well. I will prepare for the... It is time to depart for the place to which every soul must go.
What is this foolish
Another wandering soul drifts into my domain. Destiny is cruel indeed to send me one so young. This may be a fruitless question, given the vacant expression you wear, but... He is wise beyond his years. Do you think me a fool, boy? Let me unburden you of at least a little. I will explain in simple terms that even an idiot, before Yggdrasil fell, departed but now that the tree is gone, it is a place with an entrance. What I'm trying to tell you is that you will never leave this world. As long as the cycle of souls is interrupted, all who die will suffer. This is your destiny. Accept it. Or do you cling to the vain hope that the heart of Yggdrasil... And yet, you would not be alone in your fool... Some people just don't know when to give up. Did you think that he chose death out of... He came here with hope in his heart. The hope that one day he will defeat the Lord of Shadows. Your grandfather came to find me so that I might teach him the last of my secrets. You know who I am, of course. Foolish child. I am Pang, Grand Master of Angri-La. Your grandfather's teacher and tormentor. Do you see the magic circle that surrounds him? The precise pattern of movements draws energy from the ether and channels it to create the mandala of Yggdrasil. This is the final secret. He has been flailing away like this ever since he arrived here. But when the great sigil is complete, he will have mastery over a power not seen since the Age of Heroes. Get out, mate! Don't you dare give up now! I'll beat your bottom black and blue, I swear it! Would you look at that? Perhaps he is not completely useless after all.
Hey! Did you see that? I finally did it! Oh, it was beautiful!
Yes, very impressive.
Jinx! Grandmaster Pang! Was that praise? Woohoo! For the first time in my long life, she's actually paid me a compliment. Oh, that's warmed my cockles more than 100 nips of the hard stuff.
Perhaps if you could stop congratulating yourself for one moment and squint beyond the end of your bulbous nose, you would see we have a visitor.
Oh my! Is it really you, laddie? Och, not you as well. Your poor young...
Stop your snivelling. The boy is alive.
He's what? But what's he doing here then?
He and his friends found your body and sent his soul from the world above to bring you back.
Ah, really? But I only came here to... You went to all that trouble. As you can see, I'm perfectly fine. Finer than ever, in fact. Now that I've learned the final secret, you and me are going to be unstoppable. Come on, let's get back to our bodies and...
Stop right there! Where do you think you are going?
I can't thank you enough for all you've done, Grandmaster. But now that my training's finished, I need to be on my way.
Finished. Honored luminary, if you would like to follow me. Your grandfather has mastered the last secret of Angri-La. He now has the power to send enemies straight to the beyond. It is a technique first devised in the Age of Heroes by Morkant, brother-in-arms of the Luminary of Legend. For you, I have a technique no less impressive. An attack of such incredible... It was devised by Erdwin himself during his training with Yi, our first Grand Master.
Well, that can't be a bad thing. Me with Morkant's spell and you with Erdwin's attack. We'll be unstoppable.
If you can master it. None since Erdwin has been able to do so. The training you must undergo to acquire this power will be more intense. Well, do you think you... I knew you would make the right... The first step is to focus your mental energies. As good as can be expected for a first attempt.
Battle? You mean you're going to fight?
Me? Why would I rumple my nice clean robe when I have you to do my dirty work for me?
What? You're going to make me fight my own grandson?
Who better, Lord Robert? You have mastered all... And besides, I've always wanted to see two princes of Dundrasil battling it out. Before we continue, allow me to give your grandfather an unfair advantage.
Oh, aye! I've not felt this alive in...
That's the spirit. Don't hold back.
Just you watch me.
Luminary, prepare yourself. The more you use it, the stronger...
Here I come, laddie. It's time to show you what this old man can do.
Before we continue,
this for size. Try this for size.
yes. Wonderful. I must say, I doubted you had it in you. But you have proved me wrong. The power of the technique comes from your heart. Hone that greatest of weapons. Now, I think it's time we peeled that old degenerate off the flagstones, don't you?
You beat me, even with the last secret of Angry-La in my side. Oh, I can't believe how much you've grown, laddie.
You weren't too much of an embarrassment, no. Perhaps I finally have a disciple worthy of the name.
Oh!
So this is where you have been hiding.
Wait, I know that voice.
Mordegon.
Sniveling worms. You thought to escape my clutches by...
No! Ugh! Curse you! I had thought your powers could not... So inconsiderate. Fine. It seems we must do it the...
What? So the last secret of Angry-La wasn't the last one?
Of course not, foolish man. There is another. Well, don't just stand there so that I can die happy.
You dare to
You must do exactly as I say. Exactly when Robert, do not think. Act. Use the technique I taught you. Quickly! Now, Luminary! Unleash Quadra Slash! Yes, the last and greatest of all the secret solar flare!
He is back with us. But he is greatly weakened. We must get him to the temple right away.
Ah. You are finally awake. Good. I feared you. Lord Robert awoke a short while ago. He's outside speaking with the High Lama.
Hello there, laddie. What are you staring at me like that for?
It is your physique, Lord Robert.
Oh, that! Nothing a good breakfast couldn't cure.
Lord Robert has told me what came to pass in the void. I hear that you were even able to master the ultimate abilities of your ancestor Erdwin.
And I hear that I owe you a debt of thanks, Sir Henrik, for looking after the boy here while I was away.
Please think nothing of it, my lord. It is the least I could do to...
Ach, don't torture yourself over it, son.
Thank you. Truly. What do you intend to do now?
Well, funnily enough, she said old Erdwin used a very special form of
Whatever could that mean?
I didn't get the chance to ask her any more about it, but it sounds like just what we need to get. As for our old friends, none of them were exactly the giving up type, eh? If I'm still alive and kicking, you can bet the rest of them are out there somewhere. So, what say we head over to Arborea and keep an eye out for our pals on the way? If this flying doodad's supposed to be sick, there's no time to lose. The longer we wait, the stronger Mordred...
Honored Luminary, we have even devised a special training regime for you. Visit us again soon.
Aye. Stay down.
We did it, darlings!
It's a wee bit stormy all of a sudden.
Sylvando, this ship of yours is not about to sink, is it?
Don't mention the S word! I'll have us out of this in just a jiffy!
I smell fresh flesh.
That voice, where is it coming from?
Oh, yeah. Tremble before the mighty Alizarin, faithful servant of you dare to enter my realm unbidden. No.
You're the one who'll be paying, you great... Are you having me on? I just black...
The orb with which my lord and master... Now, John!
And what, might I ask, are you staring at? Is there something stuck to my face? All right, all right. It is... Why don't we try another? No. Still no good. Well, if at first you don't succeed...
Not settling on a particular form, That rather makes me think you might not know who I am. In your world, I am known as the Seer. I take on different appearances for different people, you see. By which I mean to say that I look different. But enough about me. How's the fishing? Caught anything? No. You're not ready yet. When the fish finally takes the bait, you must be... You know, I have the strangest feeling I've met one of your companions. Eric, was it? Well, no matter. We are not here to discuss him. Come, let us go inside. We can... Take your seat. Make yourself at home. The fact that you're here makes me wonder if you might have taken a bit of a wrong turn somewhere. Hold still for just a moment. Ah, so that's it. Worried we've lost the power of the luminary, are we? Well, I'm afraid there's not much I can do about that. You may think that your power has been taken from you by the Lord of Shadows, but power cannot be taken, no more than it can be touched or tasted, especially not the power of the luminary. Still no idea what I'm talking about, huh? Well, no matter. I think that's enough for now. Let me leave you with this thought. When the time comes, you will know. Oh, that's right. You're drowning, aren't you? That won't do at all. Well, don't fret. A certain sacred tree tells me it's not your time just yet. Right. We'd better get you woken up, hadn't we? You are the luminary, after all. You have rather an important task to be getting on with. Go. Save the world.
Darling, you're alive! Oh, thank goodness!
When you took that tumble into the sea back there, we all thought you were done for, laddie. Oh, it was terrible. We tried to fish you out, but you slipped beneath the waves before we could get... But then, well, it was nothing short of a miracle. Somehow we managed to pull you out of the water, give that big, slimy so-and-so the slip, and get...
What's the matter, honey? You look like you've seen a ghost. You're kidding. You were fishing and you met a person called the Sick? Oh, come on, silly Billy. You were just dreaming, that's...
You have been through quite an ordeal. You need rest. As do we all. Come.
Whoop!
Put courage in your heart and lightning in your hand.
There'll be time enough for staring out to sea till...
Such despair. I am helpless, powerless, bound by the chains of regret. If only I could go back, I would gladly accept eternal damnation just to go back to that day.
Please, hear my plea. You must free this restless knight from his prison of despair.
So we all had the same dream, eh? just like people have been saying. The poor knight bemoaning his fate.
Oh, it was tragic. He looked so desperate. I wish there was...
Maybe not. That was Dracilian armor he was wearing. There's no doubt about that. What do you say, laddie? Shall we go and see what's become of Dundrasil now that this blasted darkness has engulfed the world? Stay down.
Victory is ours. Protect yourself.
And stay down. This place was in ruins the last time we came. But this is something else. Where was I? Would you boys do me a favor and shift this little lot?
Well, don't just stand there, darling. If I'm getting my hands dirty, you are too.
Where does this stairway lead, Lord Robert?
To an underground passage that runs beneath the castle. It was meant to alert... Right. Let's get in there and see if we can find some clues to the identity of our restless knight, shall we?
Such pain. Such despair. How dare you? You took everything. You destroyed everything.
I'm keen to have a wee chat with our friend here, but something tells me he's got other things in mind. at all.
Such pain. You took my beloved Eleanor. You took my boy. I will never forgive you!
Eleanor? But that's the old queen's name, which would make you...
Erwin, last king of Dundrasil. Just as I thought. A great man, and a fine warrior too, as you've just witnessed. And, most importantly of all, your father. I'm sorry the two of you had to meet like this. What happened to you, Erwin? Come on, laddie. Look at me. What in the...
At last you have come. Long have I waited for a kindly soul to free my restless knight from his misery.
The voice from the dream.
You are correct, of course. Before you kneels Erwin, King of Dundrasil. All those long years ago, on that darkest of days, he fought to the last. The light of justice sustained him, and he refused to yield to the darkness. But with time, that light has waned, and all that remains is the tortured soul you see before you. Lost between light and dark, life and death. I beg of you, help him, free him from his nightmare. Shine the light of hope into the darkness of his despair.
The voice. It's gone again. Who is she?
That'll have to wait. Erwin here needs our help. But what are we supposed to do to help him?
Of course. We've been waiting a long time.
King Erwin, it is a great honor to be invited.
The birth of your son and heir is a source of great joy and happiness to us all.
Thank you. Thank you. Aye, this is a momentous day for Dundrasil. I am truly humbled to be lucky enough to celebrate it with you all. My dear Sultan, King Gustav, allow me to welcome you both to Dundrasil. You honor us with your presence.
The honor is all ours, King Erwin. Truly, it has been far too long. 1,000 thanks for preparing such lavish festivities. Though, of course, we are not here merely to celebrate. I, for one, mean to see that my people's interests are well represented.
It is the first time the rulers of the four kingdoms have ever gathered under one roof, you know. But the reason itself is a momentous one, of course. The birth of an heir to the title of luminary.
Indeed it is. Thank you once again for agreeing to meet so readily. Now, I have some final preparations to make before we convene the colloquy. I will come and fetch you when we're ready to begin. Guards, I don't suppose any of you have seen King Carnelian?
Yes, sire. King Carnelian is walking the grounds with Lord Robert, sire.
King Carnelian, Lord Robert, I will be convening the colloquy shortly, if you'd like to make ready.
Lord Robert informs me that the boy bears the mark, that he is the luminary reborn.
That's right, aye. I've decided to present him to you all at the colloquy. The sight of so many people gathered to celebrate his birth has brought home to me how important he is.
Save it for the meeting, Erwin.
Don't take it to heart, laddie. The fate of all Erdrea hangs on the luminary now. Not everyone's going to be happy about that. Right, it's nearly time. Why don't you go and fetch the wee one from Eleanor's chambers?
He's so tiny. Can I touch him, Lady Eleanor? I promise I'll be careful.
I think he likes you, Jade. He wants to play. He's a very special boy, you know. They call him the Luminary. People have all sorts of hopes for him. But I just hope he grows up to be like his father, that he can help people to overcome their problems, just as Erwin does.
I hope he grows up to be nice and kind like you, Lady Eleanor.
The colloquy's about to start, Eleanor. Will you hand me the wee one? All right, wee man. Let's go and talk to some scary old men, shall we? Don't worry. Daddy will look after you.
Oh, Erwin. You don't need to hold on to him so tight, you know. Would you look at it thundering away out there? And on such a special day, too.
Come on now, Eleanor. There's nothing to worry about. We'll keep you safe no matter what, won't we, wee man?
And what about me,
Hey, you don't need me to protect you, Jade. You've got King Carnelian. Your dad's a... Right. We better get this meeting started.
Good luck. Both of you.
This child, he is the one?
He bears the mark. There's no mistaking it. Dark One riseth, tree descendeth, luminary, man defendeth. Light's mark shineth, hand extendeth. With his coming, black night endeth.
The final poem in the Book of Erdwin.
The legends tell us that the Dark One was defeated by the Luminary in the Age of Heroes, bringing eternal peace to the world. But, as I'm sure you haven't failed to notice, monsters walk the land once more. The peace of Erdrea is under threat.
The kingdom of Svardsrust has already fallen at the wicked creature's hands, and King Arnut with it. He will be sought...
And now a child has been born who bears the mark. Which brings us to a reason for gathering here today. What does all this mean for Erdrea?
You speak of the Dark One, of monsters running wild, of the peace of centuries crumbling. But surely, the birth of the child signals an end to our woes. Now that the Luminary is among us,
You believe that the presence of the Luminary will ensure that peace prevails? Can you be certain? Forgive me, Lord Robert, but the Book of Erdwin contains another poem concerning this matter, does it not?
It does. The very first poem. The prophecy. World tree's gift, first of many, bold, bright, blessed luminary. Thy light doth a shadow cast. Lo, the Dark One, bleak, black, vast.
What are the two of you implying? That the Luminary causes the appearance of the Dark One?
Without light, there cannot be shadow. Without darkness, the stars cannot shine. This has always been the way of the world. Darkness and light must coexist. So, indeed, the birth of the Luminary may well be what causes the Dark One to awaken.
You dare to imply that my son is somehow the source of our troubles? That the Luminary isn't a force for good?
Can we be certain that he is? Evil does not always take a monstrous form, after all. You must have noticed the sinister glow emitted by Erdwin's lantern of late. Ever since your child was born, in fact.
What are you trying to...
Oh. The star sings at night, you know.
King Gustav is right.
Oh, don't you start.
Ominous footsteps approach. We all hear them. As the leaders of this world, we owe it to our people to root out even the slightest hint of evil at its source. Even when that source is painfully close to...
Why don't you just come out and say it? You're asking me to kill my own son! My own flesh and blood! Something happened. Not long before the child was born. I'm sure some of you saw it. A great, blinding light shot up from Yggdrasil and set the sky aglow. We saw that same light on the evening he was born. It was shining from the mark on his hand. The child is a force for good. I have never been more certain of anything. He did not give rise to the darkness. He was sent to drive it out. Light and dark are not two sides of the same coin. The light of the Luminary is a gift.
A rousing performance indeed. Of course, If you had shown even a witless conviction, we would have had no choice but to remove the child from your care. The Luminary is the child of Yggdrasil. He alone can bring light to the world. He must be protected at all costs.
I hope you will forgive us our little test, but we had to be sure how strongly you believed.
I am satisfied. Send him to Heliodor when he comes of age. He will be trained in all that he will need to fulfill his destiny. We must confer upon the Luminary the power to lead us all.
King Carnelian, everyone,
Very good. The most pressing item on our agenda is dealt with, and it ended just as I knew it would.
Now the matter is settled. Our kingdoms are united in their purpose.
Let all be as Yggdrasil wills it.
That concludes the colloquy. Now, all that...
Thank you, King Carnelian. My friends, I'd like to thank you all for coming. Now,
Your Majesty!
What is it?
You must flee the palace immediately. Monsters! Hundreds of monsters!
We're under attack. Everyone...
Where is the Luminary, Babs? Give him to us.
They have come in force, but they shall not have the child. Lord Robert and I will keep them at bay. Take Eleanor and the child and flee the castle. Now!
But King Carnelian, this is suicide!
You need not fret on my behalf. I am not in my dotage just yet.
Thank you, both of you.
died.
You're alive. Oh, thank the heavens.
Never mind that now. We need to get out of here. All of... No matter what happens, I will get you out of here. I promise. Let's go. We should be able to get out through here.
I feel his presence. Give him to me.
Just you try and take him.
The monsters are everywhere.
If they've made it this far around the castle, we'll have to use the tunnels. This way. I think this was the one. Quickly, in we go, before the monsters find us. Time to make a break for it. I'll deal with him.
But Erwin...
Run! And don't look back! All right, you despicable. and stay down. King Carnelian? Over here, Your Majesty! King Carnelian? What in the... Who are you? What do you think you're doing? Your Majesty!
Erwin, is that you?
You're all right. Thank goodness. Jade's with Eleanor and the Wee One, Your Majesty. They made it safely out of the castle.
I see. Good. Very good. I shall send my forces after them right away.
Your Majesty, what do you...
The bloodline of the Luminary ends here today.
King Carnelian, Your Majesty? Sire. Forgive me. I was unable to find you. King Erwin.
I had no choice. He came at me in a frenzy. Queen Eleanor has absconded with the Luminary. And with my daughter.
Surely not. Whatever would possess them to commit such acts?
The birth of the child has put them both under great pressure. It has also caused the coming of the monsters, the loss of countless lives. Perhaps the coming of the Luminary does bring darkness in its wake. After all, without him, this tragedy would never have come to pass. Yes, I see now. He is not our savior. He is the harbinger of the night to come. The child of evil. The dark spawn. He must be found and dealt with. The peace of Erdrea must not be permitted to collapse.
Sire.
No. He is no harbinger of darkness. Someone, please. King Carnelian must be stopped. Eleanor, please, forgive me. I was too weak.
And this one's misery is just exquisite, which is why I've been drawing out his but even the most fabulous. How does your despair? Give yourself to this is your most painful. protect your friends. Wallow in it.
Can you hear me? Please, you must listen. There is a light inside you that can never be extinguished. It is waiting, biding its time. Now is that time. You are the luminary. You must.
This light is...
What's happening?
You're back with us, laddie. Are you all right?
This light, disgusting. It blinds me. It fills my mouth.
This is the beast responsible for King Erwin's suffering. We must defeat it and lift His Majesty's curse.
No matter. You'll...
Another day, another victory.
Where am I? Wait. Those eyes. I'd know them anywhere. Son, is it really you? It was you who saved me, wasn't it?
You're back. You're back to your old self at last.
Eleanor?
Our son has freed you. Despair no longer holds you captive.
I am, my love. I am.
My dear son, my darling boy, many hardships await you. Many trials lie ahead. Let the light of hope, the light inside you, be your guide. And remember, we will always watch over you. Farewell, my darling.
Goodbye, my little one. Goodbye, Erwin. Well.
Honey, your hand!
The mark. It's glowing again.
The luminary is restored to us, and all thanks to his honored parents.